you doing, everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to do my updated version of the Venator that you saw in my most recent short. So if you saw that, I think a lot of you wanted to see the new version, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to do commentary over this because it gets a bit finicky in some places. So anyway, this is the tutorial one. So if you followed the tutorial that's on the channel right now, this is what you will have. So this will just be a complete continuation on from that tutorial. Assuming you haven't made your own modifications to it, this is what you will have from that video. Basically, first thing, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to move this landing gear underneath here, because it will no longer fit underneath these wings when we get to it. So slap those under there, and honestly, just delete this entire wing section either side. Because we're changing the whole design. Now what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to lower these engines down a bit, and to do that we're going to need to temporarily put a walkway here. I think that should be alright. You should just be able to move it down and it will snap to it. Yeah, there we go. Same with the other side. Yep, there we go. And then you're going to want to just delete that part. There's a lot of that in this rear section. You're going to want to place down pieces just so you get a connection point and then delete them. So just keep in mind at what pieces I'm deleting, and then it should hopefully all work for you. Then we're going to want to do the same for the engine next to it, and for that you can just put a walkway down right here underneath there. You should just be able to move it downwards and just remove both these parts. Okay, so you've now lowered the engines. Now what we want to do, we want to remove this piece and this piece, and we want to take the Super Cruise cowling and connect that to where the slope begins on this little piece right there. So we still got that gap from where we deleted the other part, and that gives you the start of it. Now to get the further piece outwards, you're going to need to do this trick again. This is where it gets a little bit finicky. You just want to place two of these, just enough so you can slap a further one down, and then carefully go in and delete them. Again, if you guys have got like easier solutions to this rather than just like placing down and then deleting, then by all means leave it down in the comments just to see if we can make this build a little bit easier. And there we go. Delete those. Get that, like so. And then you're just going to want to flip one, and because we've got one already there, you can just flip it and it should connect pretty well. Fingers crossed. There we go. And then what I like to use is the longshore cowling, because it fills in a lot of the dead space down here, because it's got that little lip. You can then counter connect it onto that reversed piece with some precision. There we go. So that's more or less just the casing of the engines done, and then we just want to add some detailing up here to make it more smooth. So you want to take the turbine aerofoil, make sure it's got that red and light grey. You want to slap one down either side. As well as one on the sloped bit as well. There we go. And then grab the little Argonaut winglets and just slap that just in front of this little engine piece here. Just to sort of smoothen it, round it off. People have said that you can cover this up, I think, using some sort of glitch. And yeah, I don't particularly want to use like big glitches to make these builds, because I want to make them as easy as possible for people. I don't know if you count placing a piece down and then deleting it just to attach a piece a glitch. I don't think it is. It's more of just like a use of the building tool to get... Whatever, I'm rambling. Anyway, so that is the rear done. That's the new wings and the encased engines that the Venator has, and it just looks a lot better, a lot nicer. So let's move on to the front. So the front, what I essentially did with the front is I've essentially increased the length by 1 and sort of did a big redesign. So first, let's get rid of these pieces. Wasn't a huge fan of these. I just used these to sort of get that gradual sort of triangular shape that the Venator has, but yeah, I think this is a better solution for it. So after deleting all that, delete these little ones as well. I didn't notice this until after. I mistakenly used walkways here when I could have just used habs to free up some of that piece count. So now that I know that, we can just slap down a load of habs in here. And because we're making it longer, we can quickly delete this entire front bit. Duplicate this, put another hab down, and then it doesn't let you put any more walkways and stuff, so what we can do, we can just put that duct-in joint on the end there to get that little bit extra length. And here is where you want to use the walkways, because you still want that little bit of two space gap. So you want to grab your longshore cowling, flip it, put it on underneath there. Then you should be able to put 4 turbine aerofoils down, flip them, so you got them underneath as well when they connect. There we go. Alright, now all these you just essentially want to move up by 1, just so they're in line. You will have to delete this bottom bit because it won't connect without this bit at the bottom here, so just move those up and then just duplicate that just to make it as easy on yourself as possible, and same on the other side. And then in these gaps I put down a albatross cargo tank. I really like this. This is a really cool piece. Like, you could probably make majority of a Venator out of this piece here. If you scaled it down, I reckon you can make a really good Venator just with this piece here. Then we're going to want to duplicate this hab and bring it out 1. And on the end of that, we're going to want to slap down the Argonaut cowling on the back end of it. Which you can then use more of these bits. Probably my favourite piece out of all these pieces, to be fair. You can make some real nice shapes with them. Put one there. Put one there. Then grab the aerofoil again. And just put it on the back. Like so. Oh, I forgot to flip these. Yep, so you can duplicate these and flip them just to give more of that shape under here. It is still hollow underneath, so if you want to put more reactors and stuff in there on your own, you can. There's plenty of room under there for them. And that's essentially it. That is the modified version of it. So it's longer. I think the back is better shaped, it looks a lot more accurate, and yeah, that's essentially it. The only thing I'm not happy with is still this. I don't like this top part. I think it gets the job done to an extent, but because I've got the cockpit here, it's hard to get that Venator sort of look, because it's almost like a pillar each side and there's a huge empty space in the middle of the bridge on the Venator. So yeah, it's hard to replicate that because you don't really have any thin pieces to stack vertically, unfortunately. But I suppose what you could do, just to sort of make it look a bit nicer, not necessarily accurate, you could just slap these radiator pieces, I think, just invert them, just to connect it a bit more. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good actually. Almost forgot to finish off the detailing. We can just bung 2 of these panelled windows on this dead space here, just to give us a kind of simulated version of the side doors on the Venator. I think it adds a lot to the build actually. And there we go, that is it. A lot of you were asking to see the inside on the previous video. There's a lot of space in here, like the entire front part of this ship is just empty space for you to use, so there's so much space to wander around in here. Ignore that gap. But yeah, there's plenty of space in here for you to put stuff down. And yeah, let's climb up and take off. And there we go. That is it. The Venator 4.0, 9.0, 10.0, whatever version we're on now. This is it, and I think I'm pretty much happy with this one. I said that like the last few videos, but this one I have a good feeling about it. Again, it's just that top bit, bridge, I'm not a huge fan of, but yeah, there we go. That is the Venator. I just noticed those pieces at the rear there are discoloured, and that's going to annoy me, so I have to change those. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was easy to follow and it wasn't a bit too finicky for you. It does eventually work. Just trust the process. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for the subscribers. We've finally passed 1,000 subscribers, so thank you all for that. I'm Mickey TCG. I play a bit of everything. At the moment I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky, but I do play other games as well here and there, so thank you all guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers guys.